The other day, my wife and I went to lunch with Eva and Cass. We were talking about the paradigm shift in social media. And then I read this article that the average person has a 7-second attention span and that a goldfish is 8 seconds. We talked a bit about the interest graph algorithm and how it's not so much what you follow, but it's what you share, what you're interested in that is now being projected. And like how my feed is now just guys getting beamed with baseballs and Lord knows what else. I mean, I do still find that stuff hilarious. I guess I'll never grow up, but really the 7-second attention span really disturbed me. I mean, that changes everything. That's e-commerce. That's gonna change retail, advertising, really just everything. So with the interest graph algorithm still fresh in my head, I was talking to my sister about her clay jewelry business, how she makes more money in 1 hour during a Facebook Live session than she did for the entire month with her Shopify store. I mean, take a second and think about it. She's making $500 to $900 an hour just by going live and talking about her products. So it got me thinking, what is the reason behind this? Maybe her demographic doesn't have the patience to browse a website and they're like Ariana Grande and they see it, they like it, they want it, they buy it. Is live selling the new frontier of commerce? I mean, it's fucking nuts. Like I couldn't figure it out. So I started looking into it, and first place I looked, I remember my mom back in the day shopping QVC and Home Shopping Network. And I did some research, and those guys are transitioning to V-commerce, and I had no idea what V-commerce was. So I, of course, looked it up, and it stands for video commerce, much like e-commerce was electronic commerce. So QVC and Home Shopping Network saw a 23% growth in that market, but only 5% of that accounts for total minutes viewed. I read that they have 8 million active subscribers. 20% of those people make up 75% of their revenue. Of those 20% of people, they made 20 purchases per year, and their average spend increased 9% to a total of $3,900 annually. So 5% of the total minutes watched accounted for 23% growth. That's crazy when you think about how much the landscape is shifting. Their CEO, David Rawlinson, said, "The hosts build quality relationships with our viewers." He maintains that he receives letters weekly from people getting through hard times who feel a real connection with the host, talking about their personal journey. One of the hosts talked about their personal weight loss journey, and it showed vulnerability and relatability, which reminds me a lot of how influencers sell through their content. So what is making live selling so successful now? I think it's because it taps into the emotional connection that consumers feel when they interact with somebody in real time. The internet took us out of retail stores. Retail went to self-checkout, and that destroyed the intimacy and personal touch of a shopping experience. That makes me think of Clark Griswold at Christmas Vacation when he was at the store shopping for his wife. But ultimately, people were drawn to the experience of seeing products demonstrated, hearing stories, feeling like they're part of something. So to validate this concept, this theory that I had, I did a little more research. 64% of social media users have made a purchase on social media in the past year, indicating a growth comfort level with shopping directly with these platforms. Insider intelligence. Live shopping events generate 6 times more comments than traditional social media posts, showcasing an interactive, engaging nature of this format. Bamboozer. 82% of customers enjoy interacting with live stream hosts during a live shopping event, and 87% find live shopping more interesting than pre-recorded content. CoreSite research. 58% of brands report that live shopping has been effective in driving online sales. 71% of consumers trust live shopping host product recommendations. CoreSite research. 67% of consumers say that watching live shopping makes them feel as if they're part of a community. So with all that said, social media is already catering to shorter attention spans and impulsive buying patterns. And it's how people consume content today, quickly, visually, and with a focus on instant gratification. So here's the thing, why does live selling work? Maybe it's not about the product, it's about the connection. When somebody sees you live, they feel like they know you, that they're part of something special, and that's powerful. There's a podcast that I listened to, and the guy was coming to town, so I shot him a note. And I was like, "Hey man, I hear you're in town, we should grab a beer." And he was like, "Yeah, I have no idea who the fuck you are, so like I'm not gonna do that." And I was like, yeah, wow, I've been listening to you for like 5 years, that completely makes sense. You know, that's powerful. There was I felt a connection to that guy. Never met him ever, knew nothing about him. Listened to him for 5 years talking. I mean, that's a powerful connection. I just asked some random guy that doesn't know me to meet me at a bar. So my next question was, how do I apply what I just researched? I'm trying to build a brand. I'm trying to build a following. I'm trying to build a community. I'm trying to build something. I want you to feel like you're part of the journey, like you're here as I'm figuring all this stuff out. So maybe it's sharing the highs, the lows, all the fuck ups in between. But at the end of the day, I want to be transparent and I want to be authentic. All right, so to wrap things up, I found this interesting as fuck. My sister, who has sub 400 subscribers on Facebook, is able to go live and essentially make $500 to $900 an hour selling clay jewelry. I mean, she's making the same money as like a highly paid surgeon, a hedge fund manager, a lawyer, for Christ's sake, and it's so interesting that the shift in social media, the way that the algorithm serves her up and she's able to just make bank off it. I had to dig in and figure out, like, is there something more to us, or did she just strike gold and it's the right demographic? So what we identified is social media has shifted. We kind of all knew that. People want quick, engaging content. They also want to connect and not just consume. So as I move forward, I want to do just that. Create content that connects, that tells a story, that brings you along for the ride. But honestly, I have no idea what that's gonna be, but we're gonna figure it out. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If this was interesting, maybe I'll do more deep dives, or if you have something, you're like, I have this idea, do you wanna dig into it for me? I would love that. So, see ya.